What is the best thing to say to someone to subtly frig with their head? I had a friend who would always say wake up in a very urgent voice randomly throughout the day. Then when questioned, would look at you like you're crazy for hearing things. It got to a fricked up point where he would write it in the steam on mirrors so that the next time I had a shower and steamed up the mirror again it would tell me to wake up without him even being there. He'd steal my school books and write it on the back page so when I finally reached the back page weeks later it would tell me to wake up RLY fricked with my head for a bit until he recruited other people to do it who weren't so good at keeping a straight face. A guy I used to work with got knocked out while playing softball. He came back after a 2-day break. I asked him, me, are you okay? Him, yeah, just a little tired. Me, well, at least you didn't suffer any permanent brain damage. Him, huh. Me, at least you didn't suffer any permanent brain damage. Him, oh, I thought you said something else. Me, you sure you're okay? Him, yep, I just need a nap. I start many conversations with I'm not racist, but and then talk about things that have nothing to do with race. The look of confusion is wonderful. I'm not racist, but have you gone to that new park on 4th Street? My kids loved it. We went this weekend. I do something similar if a random thought pops into my head or if I just want to change the subject. Example, yeah man, my new car feels a little clunky. Speaking of cars, did you see the new patch that's coming out for Dota? That has nothing to do with cars. Good. I used to work at a sandwich shop, and it was always great to say enjoy your meal and watch some customers say you too, and then quickly stop and correct themselves, or walking away wondering why they made the mistake of saying that. You know that's going to be thinking about for a little while after. This one requires an accomplice. Basically train yourselves to always shake your head sadly whenever either of you say the incident. Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to talk about that since the incident. Both shakes heads and then move on in the conversation as if nothing happened. Have you ever been to place? No, not since the incident. No, not since. Significant pause. The incident. Don't say anything. When they are around you scrunch up your nose as if they smell. They will become extremely self-conscious. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but insecurities give emotional scars that can last a lifetime. Make eye contact with a stranger. Squint like you think they look familiar. Widen your eyes. Loudly mutter what the frick. Then walk away. Just did it to a coworker during my break at the hospital. He's still paranoid and I haven't spoken to him. Worked at one of those guess your age, guess your weight places at an amusement park. All the time people would come up and be like, hey, guess my name. We would usually throw a name out there and be wrong, but one time one of our guys guessed someone's name right and called up the other 2 or 3 stations in the park to let them know, hey, if a guy in a green shirt and sunglasses asks you to guess his name, it's Philip or something like that. Sure enough, the guy came to each stand in the park and each employee knew his name. I just want to say I think you are so brave. I just wanted you to know I'm thinking of you during this difficult time. PLS no. A friend of mine said this to me. I was having a great day until then, but after that I was just really confused. Everything everyone told me about you was true. I once said this to a manager during a disciplinary. It fricked with his head way worse than I anticipated. He was one of those managers that thought he was really popular, but was a bit of a dick. After I said that he was second guessing himself for a good month, really went out of his way to try to be nice afterwards too. Every once in a while I'll tell my son, get in the shower. I'm not gonna go through your stuff. Son, wait. Are you gonna go through my stuff? Me, don't you ever listen to me? I said I'm not gonna go through your stuff. Now get in the shower. Tell someone we need to talk. Go as long as you can without seeing them to talk. Then when you see them just say it doesn't matter anymore. You made your choice. Give them a pat on the back, a fake smile, and walk away. I was at a party with a friend, and when he was just about to go upstairs with a girl, I told him think about me. He came back 10 minutes later with a furious look. That's when you reply with I always do. You don't have to say anything. Just look at their hair or hairline a tiny bit longer than you normally would. Widen your eyes slightly, then quickly glance away. Sneak a couple more quick looks during the unrelated conversation. Make it seem like you're trying not to look. If they ask you if something is wrong with their hair, say that nothing is wrong, as unconvincingly as possible. In golf, a massive dick move would be to say something like, do you always grip it so strong with your left hand? It can ruin their swing for the rest of the round thinking about it. Anything with their stance works the same way. Why are you standing? While at a urinal, nice watch. My buddy always says ooh, water's cold after he unzips in a stall, no matter how full the bathroom is. I got him back after the like 4th time he did this by saying on the surface maybe, but it's pretty warm at the bottom edit. Thanks guys. And deep, to appears to be the normal response. My grandpa does this. Someone once tried to trade me a watch while I was urinating. As I was urinating, he came up to me and just stared at my watch for a few seconds and said, hey, you wanna trade me that watch? Before I could say anything, he pulled out about 4 of the worst cheapest watches I had ever seen. They looked like watches you could have gotten out of a claw machine. I responded with no, but he kept hassling me to trade my watch for one of his. He apparently really needed a watch with a timer and mine had one. This is all happening while I'm actively urinating. Eventually he left me alone, and now I think about it every time I'm at a urinal. Wasn't the watch he wanted, Chemo Sabe. I think he just wanted to watch. New cousin will just walk up to you if he hasn't seen you in a while, give you a firm handshake, and tell you congratulations. Then nothing else. I would always ask my old roommate, have you seen our toothbrush? Never mind, I think I left it next to our fleshlight. I've told my boyfriend he says the word toilet funny. Occasionally when he says it, I just repeat it back to him incredulously. He is adamant that he's saying it correctly, which he is, and it really fricks with his head when I say maybe he's hearing it different to how it's coming out. I thoroughly enjoy this game. Is that in metric seconds? I like to comment on a friend's group pictures of her and her friends and say something like, wow, you 3 look amazing, when there are 4 of them in the picture. That's subtly freaking with 4 people's heads in one go. 17 years old new guy at my job that I would have for 8 years. One coworker told me, don't take anything anyone says around here seriously, including that last sentence. Sent me into an existential crisis. You look better than usual. I got this during my prom. Wow, you actually look pretty today. Are you sure? Hated when people do that to me. A guy I knew in college would ask me this after almost any statement I made, and then proceed to Google fact check me in front of me. I was always right and it drove me up a freaking wall. Anytime they need to write down a number, oh sorry, that's supposed to be an uppercase 7. I used to teach high school choir, and one day a classroom messenger came into my women's choir class to deliver a message, stopped, sniffed, and said who's on their period before walking out. It was pandemonium. Girls were crying. It was awful and hilarious. Sorry about yesterday, give no context. None at all. Tried this with my wife. She said it's okay. WTF did I do yesterday? Your wife is much better than you at this game. A white guy in a bar in Shanghai 2 years ago randomly told me that this year would be the worst year of my life. I don't believe in that shit, but frick that guy, cause it definitely got in my head. You should do this by putting on a suit, carrying a small briefcase, and acting as serious and professional as possible. Then leave the bar once you spoke to that one guy. That's a brave look. That's certainly an interesting way to do it. So that's why it turns out that way when you do it. No, go ahead. I want to see this. We played a game at college. We would walk by groups of people and say the second half of a weird sentence in passing. Winner was the person who most likely ruined someone's day with unanswered questions. Passing by a stranger, and yeah, that was the last time I showered with my dad. Or, so there I am, face down, but naked in the woods. My friend and I were thinking, what is the weirdest thing you could overhear like this, and we landed on, but is it really necrophilia if they are alive when you start? Answer the phone by saying, hello, I would like to speak with Alex. They will think you were the one who called them, and they will tell you you called the wrong number, and then they hung up on you. A few seconds later, they will start going nuts. I wonder if that would work on telemarketers. I took a telemarketer call at my parents' house once. I had a 5-minute argument, in English, about the fact that I couldn't understand what they were trying to sell me because they were speaking English, and I didn't speak English. My stepdad almost pissed himself laughing. When I was about 9, my family would go to Bob's Big Boy after church. I was in there washing my hands before we ate, as my parents always made me wash my hands before any meal. I'm in the bathroom, and I was getting some hand soap, and then a toilet flushes and someone says, I think you should remember this. And so I have, all these years. I'm hoping it becomes useful later on. Mysterious toilet flusher, otherwise I would have remembered it for nothing. You still have my trust. I will carry this a little longer. Nice to see you again to someone you just met for the first time. I once met a guy 6 times before remembering him, so every time I said nice to meet you, he would just laugh. I didn't get the joke, but I awkwardly laughed too. Then, the 6th time, I went, oh shit, we've done this, before he just looked at me blankly for like 15 seconds, and then went, oh my god, all this time you weren't joking. Air quotes. Just randomly throw air quotes into any conversation. It really makes people uncomfortable. My people skills are rusty. This is some very interesting music. Not spoken but written. When someone parks and take up 2 or 4 parking spots, I always leave them a little note that says something along the lines of, hey, sorry about your truck. I drive a smaller car and thought I could park in beside you, but didn't quite make it. My buddy says you should be able to buff the scratches out with wax from AutoZone, and that the damage is less than $100, so there is no reason for me to leave my information. Good luck. I have done this a few times and sit back to watch as some guy comes out, reads the note on his windshield, and spends 20 minutes walking around his truck or car trying to figure out where the scratch is. You have a message from the smart man. Like and sub, for nothing in return.